Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, I am so excited that you decided to join me here today for another little spell in CreateASim. And I have been, well, this is only the second one I've done, but a couple of weeks ago, I actually recreated a ton of families from The Sims 2, and I recreated them in The Sims 4. I had so much fun, and what I decided to do was give you all a breakdown of these families and ensure that I list off any custom content that I used so I can then package the household, all of the necessary custom content, and make them available to you all to download so you can play with them in your own game if you would like to. So I've already done the Pleasant family, one of my favorite families in The Sims 2, but it led me directly to the Broke family, which is who we're going to be looking at today. So the Broke family in-game consists of Brandi Broke and her sons Dustin and Beau. Her husband Skip Broke is recently deceased, and when you first load up the family in The Sims 2, Brandi discovers that she is actually pregnant with her third child. So the very first sim we're going to be looking at is Brandi Broke. This was actually the first recreation that I did as well when I jumped in game, and it's kind of what sparked me doing all the other families. So I kind of have a soft spot for the Broke family as well, but Brandi is the daughter of Bob and Betty Newby, who you might recall are from the original Sims game, and I believe they appear in The Sims 4 as the tutorial family. If you jump in for the first time, I cannot recall, but that's ringing a bell. So if that is so, I'm going to put that on screen now to kind of show you that, but I believe that is the case. So those are actually her parents. They are deceased in The Sims 2 when you do load up the game and check out her family tree. Now, Brandi has black hair and gray eyes, which I was able to achieve with a little bit of custom content. I believe we have a coloring game that'll work great for that eye color, but I will walk you through that after we kind of go over who Brandi is as a sim. Now, she is an Aries, and she had the family aspiration in The Sims 2, which I might make an adjustment. I made her want to be fabulously wealthy just because I thought that was something she might always strive for, considering I believe the family in The Sims 2, I think they start off with maybe 900 simoleons and some change, and they live in this cute little pink trailer, but poor little Beau, the toddler, doesn't have his own room. He sleeps out in the crib in the hallway. Brandi has some really nice things in her room, and Dustin has like a pinball machine. I don't know. There's a lot going on. But anyway, she is unemployed as well. So the thought is that perhaps she was very dependent on Skip's income, and when he passed, they no longer had any income, and now they're really struggling for money. Her personality, she's a little bit sloppy, like she's fairly sloppy. She's reasonably outgoing, but she is a playful and nice sim as well. And now what I thought was interesting, considering she has the family aspiration, is that she's only acquaintances with her sons. Dustin's a teenager and she is only acquaintances with him, and she's only acquaintances with Beau. And you would think that she might be a bit closer because she's very hands-on with him. She's now the only parent, but perhaps Skip did a lot of the parenting as well. I don't really know. You might have to dive into the memories in The Sims 2 to really hone in on that dynamic, but she is only acquaintances with both of her children. Now, she loves sports, money, entertainment, weather, fashion, and travel. I get the feeling that Brandi has expensive tastes, hence the expensive items in her room. That's just my thought. Now, she is not a huge fan, and that is an understatement. She's not a huge fan of work at all. Food, politics, the paranormal, or culture, just as some examples. What got me was hating work. She hates work, which kind of translates to her remaining unemployed even after the passing of her husband. And the thought behind his passing, I don't know if this is confirmed or if this is just the accepted rumor at this point, but the thought is that her late husband, Skip Broke, passed away due to a pool ladder accident. And if you were unaware, in The Sims, or the original Sims game, and in The Sims 2, your sim could drown if there was no pool ladder for them to get in and out of. In The Sims 4, we no longer have that. You remove the ladder, they can just hop up on the edge of the pool and get in and out. Kind of an unfortunate update, if you were to ask me. In this tiny family, Brandi is the one that actually has the most custom content, but it still is fairly minimal, at least in my perspective. I also understand, again, that console players will not be able to include or use custom content if you were to download this family, but there may be some great options in-game already where you could achieve a very similar look, which I always highlight. I try to make my Sims as close to Maxis match as possible, and I try not to use things that look so different from what we might have in game. So we will walk through the custom content that Brandi has. Now, first things first, I always, and I mean always, use the Pufferfish Skin Blend by Miss Ruby Bird. That is something that I put on every single one of my Sims, as well as these mouth corners by the Lip Kit from Miko. Now, the only other skin detail that I added to Brandi, because I thought this was kind of a nice touch. Listen, this woman has 2 sons all on her own. She just found out she's pregnant with her 3rd and her husband is gone. She's unemployed. The stress has to be through the roof. So I added some eye bags, again from the Lip Kit by Miko though. I thought it was a really nice detail, and honestly, if you're an adult simmer like I am, who doesn't look like this? I look like this most days. Let's just be real. So I added some eye bags for her. Now she does have EA eyelashes, but like I've been putting on most of my Sims lately, she has the Madison lipstick by Cryptic Sim. And for her gray eye color, I did add the Chroma Eyes by Golly Haha, which is in the face paint category. As I mentioned in my Pleasant Family Creative Sim video as well, if you are curious as to how I create my Sims and a lot of the basic pieces of custom content that I use, definitely check out the videos that I have posted about how I create Sims. I've done 2 of them thus far, and I hope that they have been informative and enjoyable to watch. The next piece of custom content on Brandi is her hair. It is a hair by Oakry. It is called the Signy hair. And there is, I believe it's included on the Patreon post where I downloaded this. I'm not 100% sure, but there is a hair clip accessory, and the hair clip is there in the hair by default, but if you download the accessory as well, it's under the hat category and you can change the color, which I wanted to do. I wanted to make it pink to kind of match the pink halter top that she wears here, which is, what pack is this from? I'm just curious because I can't remember. I don't wear this. Well, I don't wear it, but my Sims don't wear it very often. It's actually base game. Would you look at that? It's base game. I actually had no idea that that was base game. Oh, also I have the Spotlight version 2 by SimAndy on Brandi, which I have on every single Sim as well. But yeah, she's wearing a base game top. Now, the other piece of custom content here, it's under tattoos. This is actually the Cleavage Overlay Collection by Praline. Again, I mentioned it in one of those How I Create My Sim videos. It's something I add for my Sims with breasts because I love it. Just kind of really shows off the girls. And you know what? I think it fit Brandi's character, and I think it fits perfectly with this top. So that's what I ended up putting on her. Now, I believe she's wearing these are from high school years, these kind of like pumped up flip-flop type things. And now these jeans might look familiar because they are very reminiscent of the Laundry Day jeans, but these have kind of the flare. They bell bottom out at the bottom. And I'm going to pronounce the name wrong. I know I am. But these are the Regina jeans from the Evergreen collection by Okyo. That's how I say it, Okyo. They're right here. And there are tons of swatches as well. But if you didn't want to use these jeans, or if you wanted to use something else, you obviously could. But they are very, very similar to the jeans from Laundry Day, which I'll just show you really quickly because I believe they're kind of an add-on from that. Laundry Day was a stuff pack, right? Where is it? Where's Laundry Day? There it is. Oh, okay. Well, I guess they're not jeans. But anyway, they are jeans. This is what the Laundry Day version looks like. So it's very, very close. It's got the same belt and everything. They just don't have the bell-bottom flare, which I really liked for Brandi. I thought that looked really nice on her. But that is Brandi in a nutshell. Now, in The Sims 2, as I mentioned, she was pretty outgoing. She's playful. She's nice. But she did not like work, so I made Brandi lazy. I did make her childish. I'm kind of debating if I want to keep that. I also made her outgoing. I think these kind of fit for her. I don't really know what else I would do in place of childish. I could be family oriented, but I think it's kind of a contradiction because she doesn't really have a close relationship with her kids at all. She has the family aspiration as well, but she also hates work and clearly has expensive tastes. So I kind of made my own amendments to her personality. I think I'm going to keep her as is. So she is lazy. childish and outgoing, and I think she does have the fabulously wealthy trait. Oh, maybe I'll make an amendment. I'm not going to do childish. I'm going to make her family oriented. That way we can kind of capture that component of her personality without it being her aspirational drive. Do you know what I mean? It feels like a balance. So that's Brandi in a nutshell. Next up, we have Dustin Broke, who is Brandi's teenage son. Now, I did briefly mention Dustin in my video of the Pleasant family, and I will reiterate that in just a moment. But a little bit about Dustin. Obviously, he is Brandi and Skip Broke's son. He has blonde hair and dark blue eyes in The Sims 2. He is an Aries, and he has the fortune aspiration. So we might make an adjustment, but bear with me. So he has the fortune aspiration, and he is the only Sim in the Broke household that has a job. Obviously, it's between him and Brandi, but he's the one with the job, whereas his mother is unemployed. He is a street hawker in the criminal career, which is only level 1, so it's like he just got the job. And I believe it was 2 nights a week where he goes out at night. And I'm assuming he basically just robs. Like, that's what he does. He is a criminal. Dustin is a criminal. Which is unfortunate. Now, he is fairly sloppy. He's pretty outgoing. He's not super active, but I believe he was listed as having like a fit physique on The Sims 2 or in The Sims 2. And he's dating Angela Pleasant. That's where that comes in. So we have essentially dastardly Dustin, who is a criminal, dating angelic Angela Pleasant. And I'm going to do a bit of a comparison between the two of them as we continue to go on here, but I just think that's so interesting. It's basically opposites attract, because I would think that Dustin and Angela would get along super well considering they have a lot of similar interests, but maybe Angela can kind of convince Dustin not to take this not so wonderful route with his life and his career. But anyway, so he is also enemies with Daniel Pleasant, who is Angela Pleasant's dad. Which is interesting. I just think it's interesting. So clearly Angela's dad does not like him. Perhaps he has seen his daughter Lilith kind of going towards this not so great path, and he's worried that his little angel Angela is going to go down that same path by being associated with Dustin. That's my story, at least, my version of the story. And he loves crime. He does. He loves crime. He has like all interest points in that category maxed out. So he loves crime, politics, animals, which Angela also likes. Maybe that's what they bond over. Sports and the environment, but he doesn't like culture, fashion, sci-fi, or work. And he has 0 interest points at all, hates school, which is interesting because Angela actually has a significant amount of interest in school and has no interest in crime. They are quite literally complete opposites, and they're going steady, and they have a great relationship. Now, the only other thing with Dustin is that he does have a friend whose name is Gordon King. Now, he's an NPC. I believe he's considered an NPC in The Sims 2. I want to say he's probably a coworker because his outfit is literally like the robber's outfit. In their memories, at least in Dustin's memory, I believe him and Gordon had gotten in a fight at some point. Now, Gordon's an adult and Dustin's a teenager, so I don't know what happened, but now they're friends. And I believe that one of the Caliente sisters has a memory as well about Gordon robbing them. So Gordon's 100% a robber, and him and Dustin are friends. I believe they're coworkers. They both are in the criminal career. It all just kind of makes sense. Dustin, again, has all of the default skin details that I add to my Sims, minus the eye bags that I added to Brandi, but his hair is also custom content. We have plenty of hairs in game that at least resemble this hair, so you could absolutely achieve this same look with Dustin, or at least something similar if you were going CC free. But this hair is hair number 17, Sphene by QR Sims. And I love it. I have a couple of hairs by QR Sims, and I really, really enjoy their work. So that's Dustin. He's wearing, everything else is just in-game. I believe this is from the Urban Homage kit. I say homage, right? It's whatever. Don't come for me. And I think he's wearing Lovestruck jeans as well. Let me just double check that. Yeah. One of the new jeans from Lovestruck, and I believe he's got some sneakers from For Rent. Again, if you were going somewhat pack limited, there are plenty of options in game that you could kind of do some swap outs with. Now, what I did with the Pleasant family is I did assign all their other outfit categories, because right now the Brokes are in the similar situation where I have not assigned anything but their everyday outfits. But what I tried to do with the Pleasant family is I tried to keep all other outfit categories extremely base game friendly. I think I went almost exclusively base game. The only things that included packs were like rings or fingernails or hairs and stuff like that, depending on which route I ended up taking. But that's what I ended up doing. So that's probably what I'm going to do as well. I want to say for the Broke family is I'm going to try to assign all outfit categories to be base game. That way it's a little bit more accessible if you are also limited on packs. As for Dustin's traits, I made him a slob because he is messy. He's fairly sloppy, so I did make him a slob. But because he's actually pretty nice, he's very playful and nice, I decided to make him generous. I kind of want there to be this dichotomy between his desire to be the public enemy, which is what I made his aspiration, even though again in The Sims 2 he had the fortune aspiration. I think to balance this out, and pretty much the only way to give him the dastardly trait, I think it's only a aspiration trait. I'm just double checking. And I didn't want him to be evil. I don't think he's an evil sim. I think that would have been the only other option. So I didn't want to make him evil, so I balanced it out by making him have the public enemy aspiration. He is a slob, but I do think he's generous, and I think that captures maybe his niceness because he can be very caring and empathetic and patient. And what makes him happiest is when he's offering his time and money to help others, which I think, this is my story for Dustin, I think he got the job, even though he is fascinated with crime and enjoys it, I think he took the first job that was available to him, and it is something pretty low level. It's not fantastic. It's not the best career path to take. And I think he's doing it to help out his family. I don't think it's for purely selfish reasons. And I think the fact that him and Angela have such a great relationship and that they are dating one another, she sees the good in him that does exist. Daniel thinks he's bad news. Just the drama, it just continues to unfold. So that's what I decided to do for Dustin. As I mentioned also in the Pleasant family video, I am not assigning any preferences to these Sims. I'm leaving that completely open to all of you to play with, to kind of play with them the way that you would like. Last but certainly not least, we have little Beau. Beau is just a toddler in The Sims 2, so I of course made him a toddler here in The Sims 4. Now, what I didn't realize is that even toddlers in The Sims 2 have like their interest panel filled out and everything, so we're going to go through Beau a little bit as well. He is yet again another son of Brandi and Skip, and he has blonde hair and dark blue eyes just like his brother Dustin. He is a Gemini, and he has the grow up aspiration, which I think was such a nice aspiration for toddlers. I wish we had something like that for toddlers in The Sims 4. It just gives them something else to strive for with maybe some different requirements. That could be kind of nice. Anyway, that's the aspiration he has. He's pretty neat actually, in contrast to his mom and his brother, and he's outgoing. But he is fairly serious. He's not a very playful sim. He's a pretty serious toddler, which I think is funny. And he's not grouchy, nor is he nice. He's somewhere in the middle with how the points are distributed. So he is, I'm not going to say a complete opposite to the other members of his family, but he is different. And that's also highlighted with his interests in The Sims 2. So he loves school, which he's a toddler. He's never been to school, but he loves school, apparently. And as a reminder, Dustin absolutely hates school. So Beau loves school, he loves food and the environment, and he's pretty interested in entertainment, fashion, travel, and work. Again, he's a toddler. I don't really know how that's going to translate yet. But what he does hate is he hates health, sports, sci-fi, and most importantly, crime. Beau hates crime, so as he gets older, if Dustin continues down the path that he's taking, is Beau going to resent him? Are Dustin and Beau like not going to get along at all? Do you know what I mean? Like, are they just not going to see eye to eye on anything? Because they are in so many ways opposites. But yet again, Dustin and Angela are pretty much opposites, and they're going steady in The Sims 2. So you never know. But I thought that was kind of an interesting tidbit of information about Beau to really dig into his alleged interests as a toddler. Now, Beau does have one detail of custom content, and it is one that I only use on toddlers because The pufferfish skin blend that I put on every single one of my Sims, oh, he's got the mouth corners too, but that skin blend is not available for toddlers. So what I actually have is the Pearl Non-Default Skin Blend by Kumikia. I put this on Beau, and as you can see, it doesn't do a ton. It doesn't. It kind of adds highlights and fills in the cheeks a bit more. I think that Beau looks adorable as is anyway, but adding this skin detail, I think just kind of balanced things out a little bit in regards to the skin tone. And he of course has, again, the default of Spotlight version 2 by Simandy, but everything else is in game. So his hair is from Snowy Escape, for example. I believe that his little jacket here is from, yep, Growing Together. He's got these little pants that are base game, and I believe his sneakers are also Growing Together. So he's kind of a Growing Together and Snowy Escape everyday little Sim. And again, I will try to assign all other outfit categories as base game to the best of my ability. Now, considering Beau's personality, I had originally made him independent, which I think still can fit because I was kind of going down the route of him being serious and not being super playful, so I didn't think he was silly. He's not fussy because he's not mean nor grouchy, and he's not particularly clingy. I don't think he's angelic either. He's kind of a mix, and I think that as he gets older, with his family, he is going to be more of a very independent Sim. Just because his mom is pretty much hands-off, him and his brother might not see eye to eye, he's kind of going to have to take care of himself, and he's already being kind of pushed aside where he doesn't even get his own room. He doesn't even get to share a room with his mother or his brother. He just sleeps in the hallway. It's kind of messed up. He could also be inquisitive just for his love for school, and maybe that translates to just loving learning, but I think I want to keep him as independent for right now. I think that's my plan. There you have it. That is the Broke family remade from The Sims 2 to The Sims 4. I will be snagging all of the quote-unquote necessary pieces of custom content for the Sims and making those available with the tray files for this household ASAP for you all to download, just like my other family, the Pleasant family, and I will hopefully be doing this for a handful of others as well, just to kind of walk through. It's been so fun to revisit the lore and just the background of all of these families in The Sims 2. I'm having an absolute blast, so I hope you all are as well. Let me know your thoughts, and I will catch you next time I post a video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.